හරිම සුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9 this Saturday the 9th of March 2024. No charge yet. No final decision yet on the per unit charge for the Indian wind power plant, claims Minister of Power and Energy. Steaming ahead. A-levels and O-levels to be held a year earlier, says State Minister of Education Arvind Kumar. Reveals further reforms through STEAM program.
On the 13th, 14th and 15th of March at the Water's Edge at Slim Dialogue Brand Week.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Dirusingha joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Now taking you straight to your top story tonight, Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara says that Sri Lanka has not yet finalized a per unit charge based on which power will be purchased from the proposed wind power plant, which will be funded by Adani Green Energy. The $442 million project was given to the Indian firm as an unsolicited deal with Adani Green Energy, which was issued provisional approval for two wind projects of 286 megawatts in Sri Lanka's northwestern Mannar and a 234 megawatt wind power plant in northern Punareen. Minister Wijesekara in a recent media briefing said that the initial proposal was to purchase power at 9 US cents or 30 to 31 rupees and added that discussions are still ongoing to further reduce the price.
අදානි සමාගමට ඒකකයක් රුපියල් 50 බැගින් මිලදී ගැනීමක්ද සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රී විමල් වීරවංශ දිගටම චෝදනා කරනවා ආණ්ඩුව විදුලි බල ශක්තිය ඉන්දියාවට අලෙවි කරන බවට.
මේ රජය කිසිම අවස්ථාවක
This government has not at any time sold or submitted the country's power and energy sector to any other country. Regarding rumors surrounding the Adani Group, no proposal was given to me, the President or the government from the Indian investors, the Indian government or the Adani Group to sell a unit of power at 50 rupees. Initially, they proposed 97 US cents per unit. With the exchange rate fluctuations, that amounts to about 30 to 31 Sri Lankan rupees. That was the initial proposal. Subsequently, as the evaluation process was underway, we further reduced the price to below 30 rupees and submitted proposals accordingly. However, we have not yet agreed to that price as well. Those evaluations are still ongoing and we hope to complete them soon. But there have been no proposals to sell power at 50 rupees. Every proposal has been to purchase power at a rate below 30 rupees. If it costs us around 49 rupees to generate a unit of electricity now, if we are paying 37 rupees to local investors for rooftop solar electricity generation, if we have to pay 43 rupees for wind power plants with a capacity less than 10 megawatts, even if we get into agreements today with local and international companies, I think getting a unit below 30 rupees is an advantage for the country. But we are having further discussions to reduce it even more. I saw a professor claiming at a media conference that the government is paying the Adani Group 40 cents per unit. He goes on to say that it would lead to cash outflows worth billions of dollars. That is completely false. Even right now we have cash outflows because we have to purchase fuel. If we don't establish these power plants, then each year we will have to spend billions of dollars to purchase fuel.
කොහොමත් හැම අවුරුද්දම ඉන්ධන වලට පිටරට තමයි මුදල් යන්නේ.
New Dulux Pentolite Hygiene Plus. Refreshing walls for generations.
Now taking you to another very important sector of the country and news surrounding it, highlighting the upcoming measures to uplift the educational sector of the country. State Minister of Education Arvind Kumar emphasized various ways through which the education sector will be reformed through the implementation of the new STEAM program. Speaking at a media briefing yesterday, the State Minister of Education revealed that the advanced level examination will be moved down to grade 12 while the ordinary level examination will be moved to grade 10. State Minister Kumar also addressed the issue of student migration and stressed the need to formulate better infrastructure for higher education in Sri Lanka in a bid to attract foreign students to local universities.
අධ්‍යාපන අමාත්‍යාංශය හැටියට දැන් අපි අධ්‍යාපන ප්‍රතිසංස්කරණය සම්බන්ධව අපි දැනට
As the Ministry of Education, we have started to reform the education sector of the country. We hope to improve education in the country through these reforms. We have implemented these reforms under the STEAM program. Right now, the GCE Advanced Level Examination is held at the end of the 13th grade. We hope to have the Advanced Level Examination at the end of Year 12. Similarly, we hope to bring the GCE Ordinary Level Examination down to grade 10 from grade 11. Through this, we hope to bring down the age of freshmen entering the university by 1 year. However, this does not mean that students will be in school for just 12 years. We hope to bring in a new standard called Pre-Grade 1. We will enroll 4-year-olds for the new Pre-Grade 1. This means that each student will be in school for 13 years. There are 100 zonal officers in the country at the moment. We hope to increase that number to 120.
අපි 120 දක්වා වැඩි කිරීමට අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
ශිෂ්‍යත්ව විභාගයක් පවත්වනවද නැද්ද?
පවත්වනවා.
It will be held. It will be held in grade 5. Today, a lot of students go abroad and study in a variety of universities. We need to stop that. We hope to stop it by creating a good infrastructure for higher education in Sri Lanka, such that even foreign students will seek to come here and study in our universities.
ඒ වගේම තමයි මේ ලොකු ඉල්ලුමක් තියෙනවා අධ්‍යාපනය වෙනුවෙන් 6% වෙන් කරන්න කියලා.
අයවැය ගත්තනම් අපේ ලංකාවේ අපි
Sri Lanka's budget runs on a huge deficit. Because of that, every sector had to reduce expenditure, not just the education sector. However, as the State Minister of Education, I can proudly say that the funds allocated to run the schools are sufficient. We do need to increase it, but for the time being, it is enough to maintain the schools.
ඒ වුණාට දැන් පාසල් ටික පවත්වාගෙන යනවා. President's new scheme of 100,000 scholarships. That is also will sort of very largely help our students.
The Education Ministry had said that they are going to reduce the number of subjects from 9 to 7. So can I know which subjects are being dropped, or is there sort of a restructuring?
We are not anticipating any reduction or anything like that. Actually, by introducing the new, as I told you, the STEAM, through that, we expect the future generation to be more educated and to be more knowledgeable. We want to produce a knowledgeable future children.
Now, yesterday we brought to you the shocking development out of Ottawa, Canada, where 6 Sri Lankans, 5 from the same family, were brutally killed using a knife-like weapon last Wednesday. Dhanushka Wickramasinghe, the father of the murdered family and the sole survivor of the incident who had sustained severe injuries, had to undergo surgery yesterday. In the meantime, 19-year-old Frank, the suspect of the case, Frank Desoisa's aunt, Anusha Desoisa, providing a statement to the Canadian media, said his family witnessed a major change in Frank's behavior over the past year. She went on to say that Frank had cut off all connections with his close relatives and family members, completely isolating himself.
6 Sri Lankans, including 5 from the same family, were brutally murdered in Canada last Wednesday. The unfortunate incident took place after 19-year-old Sri Lankan Frank Desoisa, who is a student residing at the house of the victims, had reportedly murdered the 6 individuals with a knife-like weapon. Canadian media confirmed the deceased are 35-year-old mother Darshani Dilantika Ekanayaka, 7-year-old Inuka Wickramasinghe, 4-year-old Ashwini Wickramasinghe, 2-year-old Rinyana Wickramasinghe, 2-month-old baby Kelly Wickramasinghe, and 40-year-old Gamini Amarakon. Gamini was reportedly an acquaintance of the family. 19-year-old Frank is charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Dhanushka, the husband of the murdered 35-year-old mother and the father of the 4 little children, is the sole survivor of this brutal mass murder and is currently receiving treatment for the injuries sustained during a violent confrontation with the suspect. According to reports, one of Dhanushka's fingers has been completely severed. Dhanushka, while in hospital, said the suspect must be treated with compassion and empathy, though he murdered his wife and children. Sri Lanka's Ministry of Foreign Affairs in a statement said that the High Commission officials visited the surviving father and husband of the victims at the hospital. The ministry added that it has connected with the family members in Sri Lanka and is facilitating their requests with the relevant Canadian authorities through the Sri Lankan High Commission while respecting their privacy. The statement highlighted that the funeral rites will be conducted according to the wishes of the victims' families in due course following the release of the human remains after autopsy. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs also emphasized that Consular Affairs Division of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is working closely with the High Commission in Ottawa to undertake all necessary measures to assist the families of the victims in fulfilling necessary formalities. Frank's aunt Anusha de Souza, after receiving the news of the unfortunate incident, provided a statement to the Canadian media. In her statement, she mentioned that she was shocked to hear about the incident, adding that the Vikramasinghas treated Frank very well. She also said the Vikramasinghas are a good family. Her statement went on to say that Frank is the son of her oldest brother and that Frank had arrived in Canada 2 years ago. Anusha described Frank as a quiet yet good person. Frank had been residing in his aunt Anusha's place during his first month in Canada. 19-year-old Frank is acquainted with the injured Danushka, who is the father of the family, at the Algonquin College while pursuing his higher education. Anusha revealed that Frank had moved to the Vikramasinghe residence upon their arrival in Canada. However, she also stated that Frank had resided at a separate house of a close relative prior to moving in with the Vikramasinghas. Her statement disclosed that Frank had cut off ties with all of his relatives and moved to live with the Vikramasinghas in Barhaven. Anusha stated that Frank had also blocked phone numbers and social media accounts of relatives. Further providing a statement to the Canadian media, owner of the Vikramasinghe residence Harpreet Chabra said he was not informed that Frank and Gamini Amarakon were residing at the house where the murders took place. He went on to say that Danushka was considered to be a kind and responsible tenant and added that the tragic incident shocked him to the core. 19-year-old Frank de Souza, the only suspect of the mass murder, is to make his second court appearance on the 14th of March. The motive behind the gruesome murders, however, still remains to be established.
Now taking you to another story which was at the epicenter of national attention, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs claims that 2 Sri Lankans who were saved from the merchant ship True Confidence, which was hit by a Houthi missile in the Gulf of Aden, will soon return to Sri Lanka. In a statement released yesterday, the Foreign Ministry stated that arrangements for the injured Sri Lankans' medical treatment and the lodgings of both Sri Lankans are being handled by the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, which is accredited to Djibouti.
On the 7th of March, the Liberian-owned Barbados-flagged vessel MV True Confidence came under attack of the Houthi rebels at approximately 50 nautical miles off the coast of Yemen's port of Aden, which ended up killing 3 people. These were the first civilian fatalities from the Yemeni group's campaign against ships passing the key shipping route. Later, the Indian warship INS Kolkata arrived at the scene and rescued the 21 crew members from a life raft using its integral helicopter and boats. Issuing a statement regarding the 2 Sri Lankan nationals who were on board, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that the injured Sri Lankan and the rest of the crew members have been evacuated from the wrecked ship to Djibouti. The Embassy of Sri Lanka in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, which is accredited to Djibouti, is in contact with the relevant authorities in Djibouti to facilitate the medical treatment of the injured Sri Lankan and the safe stay of the other Sri Lankan crew member. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Embassy in Addis Ababa are currently following the situation and will take necessary action for the repatriation of Sri Lankans at the earliest.
Now, in your political developments, leader of the Maubima Janata Party, Dilip Jayavira, reiterated that his party will present a plan to ensure that women of Sri Lanka will be given a better country. He went on to say that the MJB seeks to provide capital and support for women of Sri Lanka and ensure that they are uplifted rather than merely focusing on providing relief. In the meantime, former governor of the Eastern Province, Anuradha Yahampath, highlighted that a sensitive government is the only type of government capable of finding solutions to the issues faced by Sri Lankans at present, and went on to say that these solutions can be easily provided through entrepreneurship.
The MJP Liyabala conference, aimed at promoting women's empowerment through entrepreneurship, was held at the Vihara Mahadevi Open Air Theatre in Colombo under the patronage of the leader of MJP, Dilip Jayavira.
හිතන්නේ ව්‍යවසායකත්වය පටන් ගන්න ගෙදරින් ඔබෙන්. ඉතින් නම් මේ අපි කතා කරනවා අපේ රටේ මිලියන 22ක ජනගහනය අතරේ 52ක් ඒ කියන්නේ බහුතරයක්ම ඉන්නේ කාන්තාවෝ කියලා. හැබැයි මේ එකෙන් 30ත් 35ත් අතර තමයි මේ ශ්‍රම බලකායේ කාන්තාවන් සිටින්නේ. හැබැයි මේ අපි සියලු දෙනාම එකතු වුණොත් අපිට අපේ රට නැවතත් ගොඩ ගන්නට පුළුවන් කියන එක මම ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම කියන්න කැමතියි. අපි ළඟ ඒකට අවශ්‍ය උපාය මාර්ගික සැලසුම් තිබෙනවා.
අපි තවදුරටත් මේ තත්වයෙන් ඉන්නවද නැත්නම් මෙය වෙනස් කරනවද? ආදරණීය මෑණිවරුනි, ඒ සඳහා අපි පෙළ ගැහුමු කියන ගෞරවනීය ආරාධනාව ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම මෙම අවස්ථාවේ මම කරනවා.
අපිට දුර පේනවා, අපිට දන්නවා අපි මොකද්ද කළ යුත්තේ කියලා. අපි මේ වෙනස කරන්න අද අපි අඩිතාලම නොදැන්මොත් හෙට අපි පරාජිත රාජ්‍යයක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. පරාජිත දාසියක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. මේ වෙනස කරන පුද්ගලයාට අප අතහිත දිය යුතුයි.
ඉතින් මේ හැම ප්‍රශ්නයකටම විසඳුම් සංවේදී රජයක් තියෙනවා නම් විසඳුම් තියෙනවා. මේවා විසඳුම් නැති දේවල් නෙමෙයි. පහසු විසඳුම් ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවා ව්‍යවසායකත්වය හරහාම ලබා දෙන්නට පුළුවන් විසඳුම්.
වඩාද සතුටු ඔබ මේ රැස්ව සිටින්නේ සාම්ප්‍රදායික දේශපාලන රැස්වීමකට නොව ඔබ එකතු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මේ රට ගොඩ ගන්නට පුළුවන් කියන විශ්වාසය ඇති මේ ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ව්‍යවසායකත්වය නිතැතින්ම රැගෙන ශ්‍රී ලාංකික මාතෘත්වයේ සදාදරණීය මිතුරියන් ලෙසයි අද මෙහි ඔබ රැස්ව සිටින්නේ. ශ්‍රී ලාංකික කාන්තාව කවදද ගොඩ එන්නේ කියලා ඒ දිනේ දරගන්නයි ඔබ ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ. අපිට අවශ්‍යයි ඒ ගැන ඔබට කියන්න. අපිට අවශ්‍යයි ඒ පිළිබඳ ප්‍රතිඥාවක් දෙන්නට. ඔබට අයිති මීට වැඩියේ හොඳ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවක්. අපි නුදුරු අනාගතයේ දිනයකදී ඔබට ඒ පිළිබඳ නිශ්චිත වැඩපිළිවෙලක් ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා. අපිට ඕන අපේ වැඩපිළිවෙල තුල ඔබට සහන ආධාර දෙන්නට නෙමෙයි, ඔබට ප්‍රාග්ධනය දෙන්නට, ඔබට ධනය දෙන්නට, ඔබට හැකියාව හා ඒ විභාවය ශක්තිය මතු කරගෙන ඔබේ පිටිපස්සෙන් හිටගෙන මේ ලංකාවේ කාන්තාව දිතුලන චරිතයක් බවට පත් කරන්න. ඔබගේ ඡන්දය තමයි කවදා හරි දවසක වටිනම දේ වෙන්නේ මේ රටේ. ඔබ කල්පනා කරන්න කොහොමද ඔබත් ඔබේ දරුවත් ඒ නූපන් දරුවත් වෙනුවෙන් ඒ ඔබේ යුතුයකම ඉෂ්ට කරන්න කියලා. අන්න ඒ සඳහා අපි ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා. හැඳි මිටට හිර නොවි එක මිටට කඩේ නොගොස් අපි සමග එක්ව යමු මේ ගමන.
Now in other political news, opposition legislator Tisattanayaka says that the Samagi Janabalawegya will not accept the president's invitation to take part in discussions with the visiting IMF delegation on Sri Lanka's external fund facility with the IMF. Attanayaka's revelations came off the back of Dr. Harsha De Silva's comments yesterday, where he urged all political parties to not politicize the debt restructuring efforts. With that, let's take a look at some thoughts exchanged in the political arena today.
The Samagi Janabalawegya's Janapawara rally was held today in Yapahuwa under the patronage of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa.
ජනාධිපතිවරයා රටට ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා එයා වැල් පාලමින් රටේ ජනතාව ඉගොඩ කරාලු. වැල් පාලමින් ඉගොඩ උනේ රට කාපු රාජපක්ෂල පමණයි. වැල් පාලමෙන් ලක්ෂ 220 ගොඩ වෙලා නැහැ. දැන් මහා ලොකුවට කියාගෙන යනවා මුළු රටම යථා තත්ත්වයට ඇවිල්ලා කියලා. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න මේ වසර අවසන් වෙන විට මේ රටේ අපි ඇති කරන සාමාන්‍ය තත්ත්වය සැමට සෞභාග්‍යයක් උදා වෙන සාමාන්‍ය රට සමගි ජන බලවේග රජයක් තුල අපි බිහි කරනවා.
Meanwhile, national organizer of the Samagi Janabalawegya Tisattanayaka claims that the SJB will not accept the president's invitation to take part in discussions with the visiting IMF delegation on Sri Lanka's IMF external fund facility.
ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය අරමුදල සමග තුන්වෙනි වාරිකය සම්බන්ධයෙන් කරන සමාලෝචන සාකච්ඡාව සඳහා ජනාධිපතිවරයාගේ පාර්ශවයෙන් අපි සියලු දෙනාට ආරාධනාවක් තිබෙනවා. නමුත් අපිට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි මේ මොහොතේ එවැනි සාකච්ඡාවකට අපි යා යුත්තේ ඇයි කියන කාරණේ. මොකද අපි ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය අරමුදලේ ආධාර ලබා ගැනීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපේ සහයෝගය ලබා දීම පිළිබඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙවෙයි. අපි කියන්නේ මහජනතාව අසහනයට පත්වන කොන්දේසි වලට අපි කිසිසේත් එකඟ විය යුතු නැහැ. නිසා අපි ඉල්ලා සිටියා ඒ නිලධාරීන් ගිය වතාවේ වගේම මේ වතාවෙත් විපක්ෂ නායකතුමාව වෙනම මුණ ගැහෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා අපි ආණ්ඩුව ගන්න තීන්දුව වලට හවුල්කාරයෝ වෙන්න කිසිසේත් සූදානමක් නැති බව ඉතාමත් පැහැදිලිව ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න කැමතියි. දැනට අදහස් හුවමාරු කරගෙන තිබෙන්නේ එම සාකච්ඡා සාකච්ඡාව සඳහා සහභාගී නොවන්න.
Meanwhile, ideas were exchanged by politicians across the spectrum on the current political condition.
නොවැම්බර් මාසේ 17 වෙනකොට ලංකාවේ ජනාධිපතිවරයෙක් ඉන්න ඕන අලුතෙක්. දැන් ඉන්නේ නිකන් අර වැඩ බලන. එහෙමනේ නේ ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයා පොත් ලියනවා. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඇවිල්ලා පොත් පෙරලනවා. ආර්ථිකය බංකොලොත්. දැන් එතකොට අපිට ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඕන මොකද්ද? ඡන්දයක් අවශ්‍යයි. මොකටද? මේ රැවටිලිකාර දූෂිත පාලනය වෙනස් කරලා නව මහජන ආණ්ඩුවක් ජනතාවගේ ආණ්ඩුවක් හදන්න.
අපි ඉදිරියේදී මහා සන්ධානයක් හදනවා. ඒ සන්ධානයේ මේ රටේ සියලු ප්‍රගතිශීලී බලවේගයකට එකතු කරලා ඊළඟ මහමැතිවරණය ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්නේ පොදු ජන පෙරමුණ ප්‍රමුඛ මහා සන්ධානය මහා බලවේගය.
ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ආණ්ඩුවක් තියෙන්නේ. පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ බහුතර ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ. ඒකනේ ජනමතය කියන එක පයිසකට තඹදෝජ්ජවරු සලකන්නේ නැතුව රෝහිත අබේගුණවර්ධන කෝප් එකේ සභාපති කරන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ පෙන්වන්න හදනවා. බල මොනවා කිව්වත් එළියේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ බලය තියෙන අපි අතේ.
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් චෝදනා එල්ල වෙන එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඒව හොයන්න ගියොත් අපිට වැඩ කරන්න වෙලාවක් එන්නේ නැහැ. අපිට තියෙන්නේ වැඩ කරන්න. මේ රටේ මේ අභියෝගය බාර ගන්න පුළුවන් නායකයෙක්ව තමයි අපි ගේන්න ඕන. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ සුරංගනා කතා කියන එහෙම නැත්නම් හන්දරේ වගේ අරේ මේ කතා කියන නායකයෝ ගෙනල්ලා වෙන්නේ. අපි ඔක්කොටම මුළු රටක් හැටියට වැටෙන්නයි වෙන්නේ.
මේ රට අරාජිකත්වයටපත් වුණා වර්තමාන ජනාධිපතිතුමා මේ අභියෝගය බාරගත්. මේ රටේ ජනතාවට හෙටක් උදා කර දෙන්න කටයුතු කරන මේ වැඩපිළිවෙල අපි එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයෙන් ආරම්භ කරනවා. අනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වය යටතේ දියත් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙයි.
Welcome back. Now in your corporate developments, marking yet another successful achievement, the Oxford College of Business secured bronze in the SME category of the 9th edition of the Asia Integrated Reporting Awards. In the meantime, Fitch Ratings affirmed Finance Lanka PLC's outstanding senior unsecured debt at BBB. With that, let's take a look at some corporate news in brief. The Oxford College of Business secured the Bronze Award in the SME category at the 9th Asia Integrated Reporting Awards. The award is a testament to the meticulous inclusion of decision-useful information on governance, strategic performance, and the company's future outlook in its reports. The AIRA Awards are dedicated to honouring reports that embody transparency, integrated thinking, and value creation. Winning reports are selected through a multi-layered evaluation process by an independent panel, ensuring that recognitions are awarded to reports that demonstrate exemplary commitment to integrated reporting excellence. In the meantime, Fitch Ratings said it has affirmed Singer Finance PLC's national long-term rating to BBB, adding that the outlook is stable. Fitch further affirmed Singer Finance Lanka PLC's outstanding senior unsecured debt at BBB and outstanding subordinated unsecured debentures at BB positive. The rating agency added that the SFL's ratings is based on its expectation of support from the company's parent, consumer durable retailer Singer PLC. In its corporate disclosure, Colombo Dockyard PLC announced the appointment of 2 directors to its board of directors. The new directors were appointed with effect from the 6th of March 2024. Subsequently, K. Kubotake was appointed as an executive director, while Chanaka Jayama was appointed as a non-executive independent director of the company. And now bringing you some international business news. Fitch Ratings recently claimed that the increased freight rates will help the short-term profitability of international shipping businesses, since increased freight rates are currently more than the cost of rerouting after repeated attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea. Meanwhile, as per the agency, the effects of supply chain interruption and shipping delays on rates appear to be leveling off at the same time.
According to Fitch Ratings, global shipping companies' short-term profitability will benefit from interested freight rates, which exceed the costs of rerouting following persistent attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea. Nearly half of all cargo ships and tankers were diverted away from the Suez Canal to alternative routes around the Cape of Good Hope following attacks on commercial ships in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. Fitch added that container freight rates meanwhile surged as a result, with the World Container Index rising by 151% since early October 2023, while rates on Asia-Europe routes increased by 284% and more than doubled on other main east-west lanes. Rerouting around Africa increased transit time for container movement on the Asia-Europe route by about 50%, absorbing capacity in the container shipping sector. Increased vessel chartering demand will also help maintain schedules. Further, the agency unveiled that the impact of shipping disruptions on rate and supply chains seems to have steadied for now. The recent container rate hikes exceed the additional costs of rerouting and will boost near-term profitability for container shipping companies and vessel lessors. The current spot rates will also affect contract prices, leading to higher average rates for the year and providing temporary relief to container shipping companies. Fitch further added that a resolution of the Middle Eastern conflict and a recovery of Suez Canal crossings to pre-conflict levels could reduce freight rates and shipping companies' profits.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Ada Derana First at 9. Stay in touch with us on www.adaderana.lk for the latest developments around the clock. Thank you. Have a great night.
For news and information you can trust 24 hours a day, visit adaderana.lk.